So I bought a set of used seats for my Saab 9.3. These are leather sport seats out of a 2007 Saab 9.3. I got them at a fairly good price, I guess. It was just the two front seats, and the driver was a little bit like normal damage to it, but down the road I'm gonna like reupholster them with a new set. So these seats were out of a 2007 car, and as we can see here I have a 2006 with the normal linear seats. So I didn't really know how it would go with the electrics, because I only have electric without memory on the driver's side and manual on the passenger side. So we started with removing the two bolts in back there, and then also removing that connector. That is really all that is to the seats. Then we just like fold it forward and then lift it up. The front there's like kind of a hook, and then we undo the seat belt from the seat. And as I showed you earlier, the connectors does not have all of the correct pins on the passenger side in my car, since it was not electric from the factory. So I tried plugging in, it didn't work. But then I just tried to hook up this positive wire to this chair, and it just started moving all of those adjustments. So then we only needed to find a positive power source in the car, and then rewrap that to the seat, and then connect the connector into the car for the airbag to work. So here we see the wire going to the cigarette lighter, which I just tapped into, soldered a wire into it. The seat, I guess, uses more power than the cigarette lighter is supposed to draw, but I really don't seem to be an issue with my one. I fitted a fairly beefy wire, the same size as there was in the chair, and it wasn't really a problem at all. Haven't had any issues with fuses going off, so that was nice. We only needed to hook up a positive, and then the negative and airbag solved itself with the connector. And then we just put the cable under the carpet and behind the panel, and they are tucked out nice out of the way. But when we move on to the driver's side on my car, there was a little bit of a difference. The 2007 share was out, it was out of a 2007 car, and my one is a 2006. The new one also got memory, my one doesn't. So I just tried hooking that new chair up to my car, and I don't really remember if the electrics of it worked, but it would give me an airbag code. On my old chair there's like a airbag sensor on the seat rail, and on the 2007 it doesn't really seem to have that same kind of sensor. So for me, I just thought, let's just put all of the upholstery over to my old like seat, and that should work without any issues, because I also think there would be hard or extra steps getting the memory and such actually working. So I would just pull all of the upholstery and cushions and such over to my old chair, and it would basically be the same as the new chair. Removing the upholstery is fairly straightforward if you do it in the right order. We remove this plastic thing first, removing a torque screw in the back, disconnecting it with the connectors, and then it's like clipped in or hold in to the chair in the front there with like a round clip there, so not try to damage that. And it sits fairly hard in the back, but you just pull on it a little bit and it comes out of like the rail or something like that under that airbag tag, as you see there. And then we just remove those plastic things, adjusters on the side there, just pulling them out gently and they will pop out. Then we remove these head holder things that go down to the chair, and as I show you here, you need to insert a screwdriver and then bending out that tab for them to be able to lift up. Then we remove the back side of the chair. You will need to remove one zip tie and then undo that kind of big clippy thing, and then you can just pull it straight out. And then it's basically just unclipping a lot of different like seat cushions and such, and also disconnecting the seat heater. And then we can basically pull up this upper part, which is the seat heater, back cushion, and also the upholstery. It's like in one piece, and just pulling it a little bit and it comes out fairly easily. And here we can see like the back support, and on my 2006 one this is broken because of the design here. It's like rusty and old, so the metal on that adjustable thing in the back there have separated, which I didn't know, so I updated it to the newer kind of one that you find on the 2007 chair. So here you see the side airbag. We don't want to make that go off, so therefore you want to have the chair out of the car without it connected to power. Then we remove a zip tie there and remove the cables, and you can also remove this plastic thing on the underside if you are going to change that. Otherwise you can just leave it, I guess, but it's like clipped in with two clips there on the front, and they can often like undo themselves, and it's just loose and dangling. And then we just removed all of the rest of the clips on the seat cushion. The one in the front can be a little bit hard to get off, but if you put on some effort it's not going to be a problem. But since my seat cushion already was like all torn down and such, I just cut it up, made it much easier. So that is basically everything there is to removing the upholstery and also the seat cushion. So I'm gonna do this at a later occasion to change to new leather on my seat, as this wasn't as big of a task that I actually thought it was. Just follow those initial steps in this video here, and I guess you can figure most of it out yourself. And when doing everything, mounting everything, we just do everything in reverse basically, and it's not too hard at all. And here I'm just putting that last plastic piece into place.